Do you know the most important thing that any professional artist needs? It's a website. Now you might be saying, but Fiona, everyone uses social media nowadays. And that's true, but we have no control over whether these platforms just poof, disappear overnight. And by having a website, you can ensure that your collectors and supporters can find you no matter what is going on with social media. So today we're going to talk about creating an artist website. Let's get into it. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In case you don't know me, my name is Fiona and I'm a visual artist. And on this channel, I like to take you with me on my artistic journey, whether that means working on projects here in my studio, going out to see art exhibits, buying art supplies and sharing my haul with you, artist tips whenever I may have them, just basically anything art related. So if that sounds like something you're into, please like and subscribe. It is one free click for you, but makes a big difference for my channel, and I would really appreciate it. So I've been managing my own art business for about the last 6 years, and I've learned a lot over that time. And previous to doing that, I used to work on websites for fashion companies. So I know a little bit about website building. So I just wanted to share some of what I've learned with you in hopes it'll help you in your own artistic journeys. And if you want to see more videos with artist tips, you can check the playlist below. But today we're going to talk about artist websites and what you should have on it. The first thing you should think about is who is looking at my website. Likely it's gallerists, potential buyers, or just fans of your work. And you want to have a really clear navigation for them. None of these hidden or broken links, mystery navigations. Just make it really straightforward so whoever is visiting your website can find what it is they're looking to learn about you. So what does a typical artist website navigation look like? So you might have your name or logo that when you click it, it'll take you to a home page. You'll have a home page, an about page, a portfolio, a contact page, and then maybe a shop. And finally, a footer, which will be at the bottom of every page. So this navigation will go across the top of your website or maybe down the left side, and then it might collapse into what we call a hamburger, which is the 3 little lines if you're on a mobile device. So let's talk about what should be on each of these pages. So your name or logo should be on every single page, and this just exists to give people a bit of branding and just let them know whose website they're on. So you can have it linked to your home page. Some people have it linked to their shop page, but you basically would center at the top or off to the side, and it just gives people sort of a North Star to always click on to take them back to a home page or an initial shop. So your home page is likely where people are going to land if they're searching you on Google. You, on the other hand, I would say it's where that you're driving people to, but you're more likely driving people to your shop if you have it. But regardless, it's always good to just have a home page where it gives people sort of a brief overview of what it is that they're looking at. So what can go on your home page? This is a good opportunity to have big, beautiful photos of your art, or maybe you working in your studio, or a video montage. You'll probably have one quick sentence about who you are that just gives a really brief touch into like what this website even is. I would also have a newsletter sign up on there if you happen to have one, and then maybe some social media links at the bottom. So if we look at my own website, I have that little logo in the upper left, and then I have a nice photo of a few pieces of mine in the studio, and it says, Fiona Clark is a visual artist specializing in bright, bold, colorful abstracts, whether that is through painting, ceramics, or public art. And I linked paintings, ceramics, and public art so that can take them to those specific pages on my website. I also have a see her most recent work and a learn more about the artist. So those will also take people to other places on the website they might be interested in checking out. I have my newsletter sign up, and then I have a stream for my Instagram and my footer at the bottom, which links to my Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and my Amazon storefront. So pro tip is to remove the home navigation. I do this because my logo / my name is what people click to get back to that home page. And people on the internet kind of understand this, and this way you're making one less navigation point, and the less clutter you have in your navigation, the better. So the next page you should have is your about page, because when someone lands on your website, they want to probably learn more about you. And from whenever I've done like hot spotting on websites, I find the about page for artists is one of the most high clicked ones. So what should be on your about page? It would be nice to have a photo of yourself, especially in studio. People really like to see that. And then you would have a blurb, what we call an artist bio, that says a little bit more about you, where maybe you were born and raised, where you work out of now, things like that. And then you'll have an artist statement, which is a little bit about your work. And a lot of the time people get confused about artist bios and artist statements. And what I like to say is if it's in the 5 Ws, that your artist bio is the who and your artist statement is the why. Your artist bio is about you as a person and your artist statement is about why you're making the work. So one is about you, one is about your work. That's the difference between the two real quick. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, let me know. I can do a deeper dive into artist statements versus artist bios and how to craft it. Let me know in the comments below if you'd be interested in that. Also on your About page, this is a good place to have your CV or your resume, and then maybe a little bit of press if you've had anything written about you, if you've had any awards given to you as an artist. All of that kind of stuff is good to have on an About page. On my personal website, I have artist statement, bio, and CV and press broken out into 3 different pages. But if we're just making a really basic artist website, you can just have it all on the one page and people can scroll to find all that information. So next, we should talk about your artist portfolio. Of course, on your artist website, you're going to want to show your work, whether it's in video form, photo form, however it may be, you want people to be able to check out what it is that you do. And depending on your work, there's a lot of different ways to create a portfolio. So I would recommend researching artists that either you admire or who may do similar work to you and see how they display it to give you ideas. But the real key here is to show off your work. So big, beautiful images, really gorgeous videos, anything that will show off your work. We want multiple angles. Did you have an installation in a gallery? All of this stuff is really great to beef up your portfolio. And what some people do is they might have little thumbnails, and when you click in, it might expand into more details further about a specific project. Or some people just have all the images just in a row. It really just depends how you want to show off your work. So for instance, on my artist website, I have a portfolio where I have different things broken out. So for murals and public art, I have slideshows showing images of the work and the work in progress, as well as a little blurb about maybe who commissioned me and linking to videos here on my channel where people can watch me make these murals in progress. Then I have a link for my ceramics, which are also in slideshows, and I have them arranged by what season I made them in. My paintings and drawings, I just have an assortment which people can scroll through. I have some in place, I have some shot on backgrounds. So just giving people sort of a gauge for the size for it, and it makes it look a little bit more like an installation. My 100-day project, I have an installation photo and then just thumbnails to each one, which you can click and expand into to see them larger. So even just looking through my own portfolio here, you can see there's a lot of different ways to display your work. So I display it differently depending on the project. But if you just want to keep it really simple, one page with some thumbnails or images and a slideshow, just keep it really basic. You don't have to overthink it yet. You can always start with something simple and expand on it later. So the next is a contact page. And this might seem really simple, but you'd be surprised how many times I've gone to artist websites and I've realized I like this person and their work, but how the heck do I get in contact with them? So whether you use a form or you just have your email listed, you can also have your social media links on here, your newsletter sign up. This is just a page that lets people know where else they can find you and how to get in contact with you if they like. So the next thing is a shop page. Now, my assumption is if you have a shop, this is probably where you're driving most of the traffic on your website. If you want me to go in sort of a deeper dive into building a shop and what I do with mine, leave a comment below and I can make that in a separate video. But for now, we will keep it simple. So most people are accustomed to shopping in the same way. So they'll see the thumbnail and the title and the price. And then when they click into it, they'll be brought to what's called a PDP or a product detail page. So your product detail page should have all the necessary information about the piece. You're going to want the title, date created, materials, maybe a blurb about what it's about, anything you want these folks to know before they buy it. And then, most importantly, is images. You need to let people know what it is that they're purchasing. So we want multiple angles. Is it framed? What does the frame look like? And just giving people as much detail as you can helps them in the shopping experience. And then, of course, if there's any ways to customize it, if you can buy in quantities, you're going to want to drop down for all of that stuff as well, and then a add to cart or buy button. Now, I'm not going to get into the checkout system because if you're using one of these websites like Squarespace, like what I use, for instance, not sponsored, they have a pretty standard checkout, but you will want to test it yourself and go through the process so you kind of know what the flow of it is, and you're going to want to figure out your shipping calculator if you have one, all that stuff. I can do that in a separate video if you're interested, but it comes pretty standard with, Wix or Squarespace, any of these website builders. Now, let's say you don't have a shop on your website, but you do use a third party, like say an Etsy or a Saatchi Art. What you can do is keep that shop link in your navigation and just link it to that third party website so people can still shop your work. So now that we've talked about all the navigation points, something that you're going to want across all your pages as well is what we call a footer. And usually this is just social media links. You might have a little copyright with your name. You should just look at what other artists are doing. And like I said, if there's someone you admire who does something similar to you, give it a look and see if that's what you want to include in your footer. Because when people scroll down and they get to the bottom, it's nice to have other ways that they can find you, whether it is those social media links or linking to your email or having any more information that you think is necessary across all pages. That's where it should be. So now just an overall tip, link the heck out of your website. So if you have your portfolio and then in that portfolio, some of those works are available for sale, have it linked to your shop. If you're on your homepage and you want somebody to learn more about you, have a little about thing and have it linked to your about page. Just link, link, link. And people will be able to navigate their way around more ways than just that top navigation. Another thing about linking is if you have any third-party websites, like for instance, the shop page, if you have an Etsy, make sure that you make that link pop up a new tab because you don't want people navigating away from your website and it'll lead them to that shop page while still keeping up your original website. So what do you think? Are you going to make your own artist website now? Do you already have one? Please leave it in the comments below. I would love to check it out, and I'm sure other people would as well. And if you have any other questions for me, leave it in a comment below and I might answer it in a future video. But for now, I will see you next Friday. Until then, stay well and stay inspired, my friends. Bye.